To pay yourself first, you must own yourself. You can't pay yourself first if you don't own yourself. Your vehicle, you, must be free and clear. When you have a job, someone owns you. And when someone owns you, you aren't paid first, but last. The first step to controlling your vehicle, you, is to own yourself so you can truly pay yourself first and the government last. That is accomplished by shelling your business into a corporation that you control. The corporation serves as the FastLane frame because it offers the immediate tax benefit of pay yourself first versus pay yourself last. When you own a corporation, net profits are reduced by expenses. The remaining profit is taxed, and those taxes are paid to the government. Additionally, corporations exist separate from their owners and survive time. It's the surrogate structure that serves as your business system. When you own a corporation, the government is paid 4 times a year, once every quarter through estimated taxes. If you have a payroll, taxes are paid each time you pay your employees. I pay myself first 365 times a year while the government is paid 4 times a year. Doesn't that sound like a structure that is conducive to not only pay yourself first, but also wealth? How to own yourself? Like many entrepreneurs, I made the horrific mistake of getting into business as a sole proprietor. Any advisor who recommends a business structure as a sole proprietorship or general partnership should be avoided like an airport toilet. These entities are risky because they don't protect you and catapult unlimited liability onto you and your personal assets. If you're a plumber organized as a sole proprietor and you accidentally leave a pipe cutter at a client's house and the client's 3-year-old kills himself with it, guess what? They're coming after you because you chose an ill-protected business entity. Instead of suing a corporation, they sue you and everything you own is up for grabs. The best business structures for your FastLane business are 1. C Corporation. 2. S Corporation. 3. Limited Liability Corporation. Each has its advantages and disadvantages, but all share 2 common benefits: limitation of liability and tax efficiency. The C Corporation. The C Corporation is a business structure that survives time and can be easily transferred. Corporate profits are taxed at corporate income tax rates, with net income distributed to shareholders. Some C Corp owners use this structure to deploy a strategy known as income splitting. The strategy is to partition the business's income to both the owner and the business, effectively lowering the tax bracket of the two versus a large income for just one. While it's not within the scope of this book to dive into tax strategy and corporate formation, it does offer up a FastLane component, which is control. While C corporations and their owners are subject to double taxation, tax on corporate profits and dividends to shareholders, they are advantageous for larger corporations and corporations with an asset growth strategy. In other words, if you don't plan on distributing profits and are focused on building an asset value over net profit, C corporations do the job. The majority of publicly traded companies are C Corp that do not distribute dividends to their shareholders. They grow revenue and asset value. The S Corporation and S Corporation is like a C Corporation except that it isn't taxed as a separate entity. Considered a pass-through entity, taxes aren't paid at the corporate level but at the individual level and reflected on the owner's personal tax return. S corporations also have some tax advantages because profits are not subject to the hefty self-employment tax that comes with sole proprietorships. However, unlike C corporations, which can have limitless owners, S corporations are limited to 100 owners and will have additional filing requirements. The Limited Liability Corp. LLC and LLC operates just like a corporation with the benefits of a partnership or a sole proprietorship. LLC profit passes through to its owners, called members, and is reflected on their personal income tax. LLCs are also considered a pass-through entities because profit passes directly to the owners. For partnerships, the LLC or the S Corp is the recommended structure in lieu of a general partnership, which, again, does not offer liability protection. For small startups, I recommend either an LLC or an S Corp. Stay away from partnerships and sole proprietorships as they do not limit liability. Creating a corporation is not as daunting as it seems. Depending on your state, it shouldn't cost more than $1,000. In Arizona, one can be created for less than a few $100s. Selecting an entity depends on your goals and your vision for your business. Here are some general questions to help you decide. What is your exit strategy? Go public? Sell to private investors? What is your growth strategy? What is your liability exposure in the worst case? Do you plan on raising capital now or in the future? Do you plan to hire employees? Do you plan to take on new partners? Do you plan on earning profits fast? Or not for a while? Your answers will determine the best entity for you. In my businesses, I use both an S Corp and an LLC. And finally, I'm not an accountant or an attorney, and this should not be construed as professional advice, so please, consult with someone who has the appropriate credentials to verify or disprove what I recommend. Chapter Summary: FastLane Distinctions. Pay yourself first is fundamentally impossible in a job. To own your vehicle, you start a corporation that formally divorces you from the act of business. Your corporation is the body of your surrogate. The recommended FastLane business entity is a C Corp, an S Corp, or an LLC. 23. Life Steering Wheel. Your life is the sum result of all the choices you make, both consciously and unconsciously. If you can control the process of choosing, you can take control of all aspects of your life. You can find the freedom that comes from being in charge of yourself. Robert F. Bennett. The leading cause of poorness. If poorness were an illness, take a guess as to its cause. Of course, lack of money. But is that a cause or a symptom of the underlying problem? Lack of education? Lack of opportunity, positive role models, or determination? Nope. Those are all symptoms. If you retrace poverty's footprints, you will find that poorness starts at the exact same place: choice. Poor choices are the leading cause of poorness. The heart of the problem. As my income elevated, so did my cholesterol. The road of good living runs parallel to a cliff of gluttony. My doctor's preferred method of attack was prescription drugs. I refused because I wanted to fix problems, not mask symptoms. If you approach wealth like a big pharmaceutical company and attack symptoms while neglecting problems, you will not succeed. Feeling tired? Take this pill. Want to lose weight? Another pill. The problems are ignored while the symptoms are addressed in catatonic cycles. I refused cholesterol medication because it addressed the symptom, not the problem. The problem is poor diet, cholesterol is the symptom. If your car's fuel tank had a small leak, how would you fix it? The symptomatic solver would increase his trips to the gas station to ensure a steady inflow of fuel. The problematic solver plugs up the hole. One addresses the symptom, the gas tank leaks, while the other addresses the problem, there's a hole in the gas tank. While adding fuel addresses the symptom, it doesn't solve the problem. When the behavior stops, the problem remains. How does this relate to success and choices? Simple: if you aren't where you want to be, the problem is your choices. Your circumstances are the symptoms of those choices. For example, everyone loves success quotes. Here are two. The will to persevere is often the difference between failure and success. Success means having the courage, the determination, and the will to become the person you believe you were meant to be. The problem with these quotes is they're asymptomatic. They're ambiguous to the real issue, and that is choice. The first quote deals with perseverance. How do you persevere? You react from conscious choice. Not just one choice, but hundreds, perhaps thousands. You cannot choose to persevere with one choice. You cannot wake up one day and say, today I will choose to persevere. It must happen every day, not just once. Perseverance is architected by many choices that fabricate lifestyle. If you quit after 2 tries, have you persevered? Can you claim perseverance after 1 failure? Likewise, the second quote suffers from the same conundrum. Determination is not a solitary choice, but thousands of them. You cannot decide to be determined, it must occur repeatedly, concertedly, and with commitment. The point of this dissertation is that FastLane success isn't one choice. It's hundreds. And when you line a string of choices together, they create your process, and your process will create your lifestyle. Lifestyle choices will make you a millionaire. Your life steering wheel, your choices spark the fires of future circumstances. The fabric of your life is sewn by the cumulative consequences of your choices, millions of them, that you set into motion. You act, react, believe, disbelieve, perceive, misperceive, and all of it engineers your existence. If you're dissatisfied with life, your choices take full responsibility. Blame yourself and the choices you've made. Yes, you are as you have chosen. It took me 26 years of life and a blizzard to grasp the horsepower of my choices. The blizzard impeded my limousine, but I was there because I chose it. I chose to get the job. I chose to pursue low-rent businesses. I chose to continue life in Chicago. I chose to avoid corporate after college. I chose my friends. I chose my business pursuits. I chose all of it, and it engineered my life to that exact moment. I awoke to the epiphany that I was the driver of my life and my problems were the consequences of my choices. I steered myself there. Wherever you are, reading on the train, on a plane, on the toilet in a rundown apartment, or on a beach in the Caribbean, you've chosen. I didn't force you to pick up this book and read it. You chose to. Yes, you are exactly where you decide to be. And if that's unhappiness, you need to start making better choices. Choose to be wealthy or choose to be poor. There's a big chasm between thinking wealth and choosing wealth. You can choose the sidewalk, the slow lane, or the fast lane. You can choose to align your life with greater purpose or choose to let life live you. You can choose to believe these theories or choose not to. The common denominator is you. Your steering wheel choice is the most powerful control you have in your life. Why do I hate the slow lane? Because it denies choice and gives it to someone else, the company, the boss, the stock market, the economy, and a whole host of others. People don't choose to be poor. They make poor decisions that slowly assemble into a poorness puzzle. Retrace the footprints to poverty and it happens slowly, systematically, and methodically under a steady diet of poor choices. The choice to cheat on your exams or study. The choice to squander college because your parents paid for it. The choice to lie or to be honest. The choice to drive without insurance. The choice to befriend bad people over good people. The choice to watch TV or read a book. The choice to drive 105 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone. The choice to rob the corner convenience store. The choice to overindulge in food or liquor. The choice to believe in people with no track record. The choice to cheat on your significant other. The choice to buy on credit. The choice to get high every weekend. The choice to hire a contractor without a background check. The choice to play video games 30 hours a week. The choice to get married after 4 weeks of dating. The choice to go into business with incompetent partners. The road to treason is always open. I always loved a good street race. Having owned a variety of juiced-up vipers, confrontation was standard. One summer evening after a few drinks, I let my ego take over and I street raced. I overthrottled, spun out of control, crossed into oncoming traffic and crashed into a palm tree. By the time it was over, the new occupant